Hello, everyone. Welcome to another 10 to 20 with Tanya. I'm Tanya, and today we are going to talk about one phrasal verb that has two or more meanings. And I just poured myself a tea. If you want to grab something warm to drink or something cool to drink, depending on where you are and what you like. Let's get going on this phrasal verb. Okay, so I have SB right here with me. Hopefully, she's going to be quiet. Are you going to be quiet today? She said she will be quiet unless there's imminent danger. Imminent danger is kind of a joke in this situation because there is not any imminent danger here. I'm going to write this here. Imminent. Oops, there we go. Danger means that there is danger that's coming. It's going to happen. It's definitely going to be danger. Which reminds me to introduce yourself in the chat if you're listening live, where you're listening from. If you're listening to the recording, thank you. Also, let us know where you're listening from. If this is your first time, if you've been here before, let us know. I know we have a few regulars. I see me, Eva. Did I say it correctly this time? And Jeff, I saw Jeff. So some of you, hello, welcome from Morocco. Might have been here before, but the names go so fast. So if I didn't recognize your name, let me know. Judith, great to see you. Judith is in our women's speaking program. It's good to see you here. So the phrasal verb I'm going to talk about today is the past tense of to catch up. So what is the past tense of the word to catch? If you know the past tense, write it in the chat here. I'm going to tell you here in just a minute. I'm going to give SB a treat because she's been so good. Down. SB speaks sign language. She lies down when I say down. Oksana, welcome. Okay, yes, caught. I see Jakub Bergio and Shazley. A couple of people are putting the word caught. It is spelled like this, Caught. Yes. So Jeff is saying, well, he's saying he's come down with a terrible cold. I'm sorry to hear that. You can also say, I have caught, which is our verb today that we're going to talk about as a phrasal verb. I'm sorry to hear that you caught a cold, Jeff. Don't drink any cold beverages, maybe something warm or room temperature is what we say when it's just the temperature of the room. It's neither warm nor cold. So we're going to talk about caught up as a phrasal verb, which is different than caught. I said Jeff caught a cold. You could say you catch a ball, or I caught a ball. But when we are caught up, our first definition is to be very emotional or excited about something. So if we get all caught up in the concert, for instance, or the movie or the movement, like a political movement or a rally, if we get caught up in it, it means we have become emotional or excited about it. So I'm going to write an example for you, but first let me know, have you heard this phrasal verb before? Just you can write yes or no in the comments. And then I want you to think about an example, a time when you got caught up in what was happening. You could also get so caught up in something that, well, first we're going to stick with this one example. All right, I see a no already. You're welcome, Jeff. Let me see. Anybody who has heard this, give me a yes or a no or a thumbs up, or I think you could put a thumbs down. So to get caught up in the emotion or excitement, I'm going to say the people got so caught up in the protest that they forgot the time. If we get so excited about something, so emotional about something, we might do something that we wouldn't otherwise do. So he was so caught up in the excitement, he said something he might not otherwise say, or did something he or she might not otherwise do, or maybe you forget the time, those kinds of things. Okay, I see at least one or two yeses for having heard this before. See if you can write an example, because I'm going to come back to these examples and help you with those. So see if you can think of an example, a time when you got caught up with that, something like that, or a time you could just make up an example. So Espy is saying this to me, which is the sign for another treat, please. Lie down, down, down. Good girl. Okay, so my next one is when you get involved with something. To get caught up in something can be to get involved in something, and usually in a little bit of a negative way. Jeff has a question. Yes, and Jeff, thank you for all those question marks. It makes it easy to see. Um, is it like being carried away? Yes, you can get carried away with something. You can get caught up with something, and they can mean the same thing. They can also mean different things. So, great question. He got so carried away with what was happening at the protest, he forgot the time. That in that way, they could be the same meaning. Okay, so but to get involved in something, usually in a negative way, he got caught up with the wrong crowd. It means he got involved with the same wrong crowd. So he got caught up with the wrong crowd. I should say crowd. Have you heard this use? Give me a yes or a no. And if you have any questions, like Jeff, you can put your questions in the comments here. It helps if you put several question marks. Let me say something about that. If you're writing an email or a text and you put a lot of question marks, it would be considered rude. But here in our live, it is very helpful if you put a lot of question marks, because I'm live and it helps me to speak to you, make my examples, read my notes, and see your questions all at the same time. But if you are watching the recorded version of this live and you put a bunch of question marks in the comments, that would be considered a little bit rude, because when I read the comments, I'm not doing 4 or 5 things at one time. And so it's almost like yelling at me or whoever. So you wouldn't want to do this in comments, emails, text messages, things like that. Caught up is a noun. Let me think if caught up can be a noun. I can't think of an example right off the top of my head. There's an idiom for you. I can't think of an example right off the top of my head. I've written it in the comments here on the live. If you're wondering where these comments are coming from live, um, if your image is taking up the whole screen, you won't be able to see them. But if you make the image a little smaller, you can see them on this side of the screen. And all of my comments are in, I think, yellow. Oh, SV, say hi. Say hi. She's like, oh, don't say hi out loud. I meant quietly. Okay, so if you can think of Jakub Bergio, can you think of a time when caught up is used as a noun? It's typically used as a verb or a phrasal verb. Well, caught up is a phrasal verb. So let me know if you can think of a time when it's used as a noun. Okay, so to get involved in something, I got caught up with the wrong people. I got caught up in uh I got caught up with those people that were doing that other thing, and then I didn't get my thing done. I got involved with that. All right, let's see. Let me see. I have another example. If we are all caught up, this is made me think of this the other day. When I finished the dishes, I was like, okay, great. Now I am all caught up. I am all caught up. I can't type. Caught up. I am all caught up means I'm all finished. Oh, thank you for the hearts. Hey, I have hearts too. Cool. I didn't realize I can you all see it when I click the heart or the 100? I'm curious about that. Send me hearts. That's, I think, a new thing. It's very common on another platform, but I haven't seen. Oh, thank you. I love it. I love it. Thank you. Thank you. So if you are studying your English, you get finished for the day, you can say, I am all caught up. It means I've got everything done up to this point. But we could say, I need to catch up. So this is in the present or in the future. I need to catch up in the future. Okay. All right. Thank you for the excellent. And then I have another bonus. Did I have another bonus? Ah, yes. Well, I wanted to say something about the pronunciation of caught up. So if you notice, we link these two words, caught up. We say it like caught up, caught up, caught up. I'm all caught up. But because of the way this goes, we often use a very soft T and it sounds almost like a D, caught up, caught up, caught up. Any questions? Put them in the chat for me. Okay, so I'm all caught up. And another way to say this, a little bonus of saying caught up, as in to get involved in something, particularly something negative, we can say to get tangled up or to get tangled in something. So don't get tangled up with those people. Don't get tangled up with the wrong people. And if we say tangled in, it's more like being caught up in. So if my cat is playing with a ball of yarn, which is like string, I can say she got caught up in the yarn or the string. I'm going to type it here for you. MI says hi, SB. SB says hi. She got caught up in the string. This means she physically got caught up or tangled in the string all around her. Hey, F, come here. Can you all hear her come right back when I ask her to come? Because she knows I have a little tray of treats here for her. I won't be giving her that many. I just have them all here and I break these little tiny ones in half because it's good for her girl-like figure, which is probably a phrase maybe you don't want to use too often. Okay. Any questions about these phrasal verbs? Has anyone tried an example? I see some here I'm going to take a look at and help you with if need be. For Farah Mars, I hope I said that right. Farah Mars says, I caught up in an accident. Yes, that's a good example. I just want to help you with the sentence structure. We would say, I got caught up in an accident. Now, in this case, it could be that it had nothing, it wasn't your fault. It was someone else's fault. Thank you for the hearts. Somebody else was at fault and you were a part of it, but it wasn't your fault. I got caught up in an accident, like a car accident. That's an excellent example. So let's see, does anyone else have an example or a question? Carmen, welcome. I'm so glad you're here today. Let's see if I see any other I caught up about the Ukrainian war. So this is all past tense usually, or I am caught up in. We can say that would be presently. I am caught up in something. So in this case, Yakub, I think you want to say I am caught up, but it looks like because you said about I have gotten caught up in all the information, all the upset, all the news, whatever. So I'm going to say news. I have gotten caught up in all the news about the war. Okay, so in this case, it's almost like I can't stop watching it. Um, maybe I have someone, relatives or friends there. Maybe I myself am from there. Maybe I know someone from there. In my case, I have students there and here from Ukraine. Not the reason I stumbled over that is they are Ukrainian, but the war is the Ukrainian war, but they live in Ukraine. I sometimes get caught up in the news about it. Let's see. I'm not sure what you're saying with the car up. I'm not sure I understand you. If you could clarify that, that would be great. Okay, any other questions or examples? We have just a couple more minutes. Talena says kickoff. This is another phrasal verb, but since no one has a question right now, I will say we can kick off something, meaning to start something. Let's kick off the season on the right foot. Let's kick off our project tomorrow. This is also, I think, a football term, but I'm not great with sports, so I wouldn't swear by that. In that case, it can be a verb or a noun. The Super Bowl kickoff. Yeah, I think it can be the kickoff. Somebody can check on that for me and let us know. If you're a sports enthusiast, meaning you love sports, especially in football, I think they say that, American football. Yakub says, I'm all caught up phrasal verb. Yes, I'm all caught up in, we would say, all caught up in phrasal verbs or the caught up phrasal verb. Hi, file étrangere, I think. I don't know. I don't have the pronunciation there. This is my first time joining your live. I'm from Kurdistan, and here in our country, it's midnight. Oh my goodness. Hello and welcome. I'm so glad that you're here. To abide by. So we have just another couple minutes. If you want to put a phrasal verb in the chat, I'm happy to help you with it, or in the comments when I post the recording. To abide by something is to, for instance, to follow the rules. Here's an example. You need to abide by these rules. It means you need to follow these rules. I have gotten caught up in the UEFA Championship League. Yes, there you go. Caught up in is the next pronoun, or no, not pronoun, preposition that we use. Okay, I don't see any other questions right now, so I'm going to wrap up. There's another phrasal verb for you. I'm going to wrap up the video and invite you to put comments in the recorded version, or on the recorded version, I should say. It helps to keep this going, and I'm happy to answer your questions there. Also, to check out our women's speaking program, and I do have some openings for individual lessons, which almost never happens. So if you're on the waiting list, you should have gotten an email. If you did not and you're on the waiting list, let me know, because people on the waiting list will get first crack. In other words, they will get to sign up first for individual lessons with me. If you are not on the waiting list, send me an email and let me know, and I will contact you to let you know what my schedule is. So I would love to see all of you in class, either in individual lessons or our women's speaking program. And I'm looking forward to seeing you here next Saturday at the same time, 1:30 p.m. Los Angeles, California time. And I'll talk to you then. Bye-bye.